What's up, everybody? Duke of Johannesburg here. Polmaje Bog, God bless. And I'm here today in the hood of Brixton. Actually, just finished putting the number on the local parish here, St. Nicholas of Japan. And I figured, now that I got a little bit of time, what a perfect opportunity to discuss this channel. What is this channel? What future content can one expect from this channel? And maybe talk about some of the content that I've uploaded recently. So basically, the name of this channel actually comes from the B-rate movie with Kurt Russell and Isaac Hayes, Escape from New York. So it's pretty much a parody on Isaac Hayes' character, the Duke of New York A#1, and I actually came up with that channel name quite a long time ago, actually before I became Orthodox, and I understand it's not exactly an Orthodox name, but I like it. I've become somewhat attached to that name, and whether it be for like an ironic reason or not, I decided I'm going to keep that name. It's a recognizable brand, I suppose, if you will. Now, I initially actually started this channel, I suppose, probably like 11 years ago, just to, troll in the YouTube comments. But maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I started to, some noisy kids walking by, I started to upload political content, I suppose based in red-pilled, right-wing conservative content, still being very much in the world. And, once I started to see the worldliness of that, and I guess also sort of like the futility, old man shouts at cloud, which is quite ironic because I guess I'm doing the Matt Walsh thing right now, hey, bearded guy talking to the camera in the car by himself. But I suppose I lost interest in that. I realized that, complaining isn't really going to help anything at the end of the day, and that is what I was doing. I'd also realized I'd aligned myself probably with, some causes that I don't necessarily align myself with today. Take a look at sort of the neocon right and, the Stephen Crowders and the Ben Shapiros and what have you. But, something that I did, back then that I still actually, have plans to continue doing is my Forgotten Joburg series. So basically, filming some of the hoods here in Joburg. And my reason behind that was because I really wanted to show the real South Africa, not a sensationalized view like you might get from, your Lauren Southerns or, basically people that have no business actually talking about South Africa. And look, I respect her. I think that her heart was in the right place. But the thing is, she only came here for a short time, and, she came here with an agenda, whether or not it was a good agenda or a negative one. I can't really say. I'm sure her heart was in the right place, and a lot of the things that she spoke about were true, but painting a nuanced view of South Africa is certainly not the thing that she did. And at the same point, you have your left-wing, I suppose, view of South Africa, that people sort of think apartheid is still happening, that, all the white people live in mansions and all the black people still live in huts, and everything is just racist. And the truth is that, both of these are, on extreme ends of the spectrum, very unnuanced views of South Africa, and quite frankly, propaganda. It's not like that on the ground, I suppose. And I really wanted to show people what life in South Africa is like, how actually, despite our history and despite our government and certain forms of discrimination that have, let's just say, switched switched faces, that we're actually a lot more of an integrated society than, say, America. So where I am right now is a majority black neighborhood. I would say maybe about 80% black, 15% white, and 5%, Indian, mixed race, Chinese, and other. And the level of hostility here is really, one doesn't feel it. And I'm not trying to say that there aren't problems here. I'm not trying to say that our government can't do better. Lord knows they can, and Lord knows they're incredibly ineffective at whatever they are trying to do. I mean, if what they're trying to do is fatten their own pockets, I suppose they're very effective at that. But moving on, also in the last 2 years, I've come to Orthodox Christianity, and since the goal of this channel was to basically, give people a window into my life as a South African, I figured that that is a very important thing to do. I also want to be able to provide that sort of non-authoritative content, being that I'm not a priest, I'm not a deacon, I'm certainly not a monk, but I am a lay person, and there's certain information out there that I try to find during my days as an inquirer and a catechumen that simply just isn't out there, isn't available. And a lot of that pertains to language stuff, which is definitely something that I'm very interested in. I can speak English, Afrikaans, and Serbian. I can't say that my Serbian is at a excellent level, but yeah, I can maintain a conversation. I've only really been learning it for about a year, and I really do have the local Serbian priest and his wife and all of the Serbian community to thank for that, because they've been very patient. But yeah, I've noticed a lot of catechumens attending Slavonic liturgy and sort of really unable to follow along with the liturgy, not really understanding what's going on. And I figured that the least I could do is provide them with at least what I know. So put up a little video about the Slavonic responses and how I came to learn Serbian, because of course you have all these internet polyglots out there. White boy learned how to speak fluent language in 2 minutes and blows the head off of Chinese people at the market. Yeah, those Chinese people are being kind to you because you actually took the time to learn the basics of their language. But false expectations are not going to help anybody either. So yeah, I want to post more videos about life here in South Africa, more of these little hood tours, and definitely want to keep posting that Orthodox Christian content, especially self-read audiobooks of the saints, and God willing as well, the lives of the saints. So I've posted quite a lot about, a lot of content from Sveti Nikolai Velimirovic, who's a Serbian saint that I found to be very, very edifying in my journey into Orthodox Christianity. And of course I want to, as my language learning journey comes along and progresses with time, I would like to post a lot more content on that. So I've got an idea of, my next video concerning that. I'd like to outline my language learning routine so far as Serbian goes. I'd like to actually, God willing, get a video of me having a conversation with my Serbian učitel, my Serbian teacher, the wife of the local Serbian priest, Father Isailo, his wife Natasha. Ako Bog da, dače Bog, she will be willing, hopefully. And actually I got a blessing from my spiritual father, Father Elias, who's actually the parish priest here in Brixton, to do a documentary on Orthodoxy in South Africa. So again, dače Bog, ako Bog da, God willing, inshallah, as our Arabic friends may say, that will go well, and I'll be able to actually get some clergy and converts and people from the Serbian, Greek, and Russian diaspora to speak to me and provide some, some information, some content, provide their stories, and I'd like to put out some high quality content concerning that. So quite a lot of things in the works. Of course, I want to continue with my little top 5s and top 10s as far as Orthodox content goes. So, top 5 Orthodox bands, top 10 Orthodox movies, and you can expect that video, I suppose, to come out very soon because I've already done it, and I've already posted my video in a nearby neighborhood here, Triumph, talking about that and speaking with some of the people there. I'd like to go to some of my old neighborhoods and, show life in just the average sort of working class, lower middle class, or middle class, whatever you want to describe it as, settings here in South Africa. Because the truth is, you're really only going to get a propagandized view from either one extreme or the other. So either they're going to show you the worst ghettos, and how people are generally suffering, which is true, but it's only a small percentage of the country that are living in that way. And then of course you're going to see stuff like Sandton and Rosebank and some of the more upper class or upper middle class parts of South Africa if you visit here, where you're going to see the high walls and the skyscrapers and the hotels and a lot of people that I suppose live in quite an insular environment, and neither of those two extremes are accurately reflective of life in South Africa. And please forgive me, by the way, because this is one of my first videos that I've done in quite some time that's not scripted, so you're going to notice I'm not wearing my trademark sunglasses to stop the glare of the screen and deceptively detract from the fact that I'm actually reading. So I suppose, like I said, I'm doing the old Matt Welsh, old man shouts at a cloud with a beard in his car thing. So I would say probably that concludes my little ramble here about this channel, what its intent is, how it started, the story behind my name. So no, I don't actually think that I'm Johannesburg royalty. The Duke of Johannesburg A#1 is definitely somewhat of an ironic name, and I'm actually quite disappointed that not so many people got the reference. But anyways, I hope to be able to provide any subscribers that I actually still have with the content that I promise and gain some more subscribers over time. I would actually like to be able to set up a Patreon and a PayPal eventually, because of course I'm not expecting to be monetized anytime soon, and I would like to honestly be able to remain self-employed. I'm not going to mention what my main form of self-employment is. It's nothing dodgy. I just don't want to I suppose, overlap lines, have, people from one world, entering the other world, I suppose, interfering with, I wouldn't want my politics and my religious worldviews and anything like that to interfere with my bread and butter, but I would eventually like YouTube to also be able to at least supplement that. So I mean, does that make me a grifter? I should hope not. I should hope that wanting to be able to support oneself off of doing something that one enjoys should not be considered grifting. I would consider grifting to be, putting out sensationalized content, which is actually the opposite of what I want to do. That's the whole point of my hood tours and little pseudo mini documentary things that I put out, is to provide a nuanced and non-sensationalized view of South Africa. Anyways, I've probably been rambling a little bit too long now, so I'm going to leave you now, and I'm going to say, go with God, Boga Pomagao, The Lord has helped. And God bless. Duke of Johannesburg, out. Out.